Hello and welcome to the Tesla Life number 203. Here we are on the 26th of May, 2021. Welcome to the show and thanks for joining us. Today, we've got our panelists ready to go to talk some more Tesla. We've got lots to talk about this week, as per usual. As a regular co-host, Mr. Casey Green joins us. How are you today, sir?
Doing pretty well. Had a day off work. It rained. Got caught up on
It
stuff.
rained in DC, did it?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Also joining us is our guest host, Mr. Rob Spreitzer from KW area. How are you today, sir?
Hey neighbor, how's it going?
So Rob can tell us about his weather because it's exactly like my weather.
About 10 minutes down the road, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, Rob's joining us as a guest panelist tonight. We appreciate him showing up on short notice. Patrick Connor couldn't join us this evening, but he'll be back next week. So,
I thought you just had me on because I have a lot of mileage on my car.
well, we know that just based on the title in the corner of your box, that obviously you've got high mileage. So, remember, Rob was interviewed by us quite some time ago when he hit 100,000 miles or 160,000 kilometers. What are you at now, Rob?
201,000 kilometers. So,
wow,
Goodness.
I don't know. What is that?
100,000 kilometers.
150,000 miles? 140?
That
Something
should
like
be,
that.
yeah, should be somewhere around there.
Anyway,
Very good.
we just keep trucking.
Yeah, exactly. Talk about a long haul Model 3. Very good. Well, this evening, let's get started with want to touch upon the Petersen Museum with the second Gen Roadster appearing there. What I wanted to touch upon is did mention it last week, and it's still there for up to this weekend. But of course, I believe ticket sales are pretty well sold out. So you're going to have to need some sort of a minor miracle to get into the Petersen Museum. But what I wanted to touch upon was that some of the people that went took some photographs of course, the car, some videos, and the placard that's in front of the Roadster held a little fact that Elon confirmed is that the Roadster with the SpaceX package will do a 0 to 60 mile per hour run in 1.1 seconds. So that's the cold thrusters doing their job and propelling that car to a unworldly 1.1 seconds for a production car. That's going to be pretty incredible. In fact, someone did an analysis and they said that's probably about 2.5 Gs on the jump. And Elon had indicated it's kind of like a extreme roller coaster. And he also cautioned that if you have any type of a medical problem, heart disease, or issue that you should not get on one of those hardcore roller coasters, that you should probably stay out of the car if it's going to achieve that 1.1 second run, because it's going to be a bit of a push on your body. So I can, I would love to feel that. I don't know what it's like. I've obviously I felt it in a Model S with just insane mode, and that to me felt like my eyes were being pushed into my sockets as we jumped the gate on that. So I can't imagine what a 2.2 G push is going to feel like in the Roadster.
Finally, a weather-worthy adversary has appeared. I say this because I drive Ludicrous every day.
Well, a lot of people who have Model S's with Ludicrous, they just say it's painful to use.
You gotta clench your thigh muscles.
Yeah, you
head back on the headrest.
You gotta clench up, and then you press the lightning pedal, and away you go.
And what is that? What is that about 2.8?
My Model X is 2.7, 2.6, 2.8. Yeah, one or the other. They upgraded it since I got it. It was 2.9 when I bought it.
Cheetah.
Right. So this thing before
1.1.
the lightning pedal, right, 1.1. So before the lightning pedal can hit the bump stop at the bottom, you'll be extra legal. boom.
Yep, that's it's going to be impressive to see those, to feel that. That's going to be
Yes.
something when they come out onto the road, or should I say the runway,
Yes.
going at that speed. If you put a little couple wings on both sides, I'm sure it would get some height. And Elon, by the way, is still talking about it hovering a bit. We don't know what a bit is. We don't know how long. We don't know height, but he doesn't want to kill anybody. But he said that he still wants the car to hover. So they're not showing that at the Petersen Museum, but it's something that's supposed to come with the SpaceX package as well.
Yeah, definitely, Derek. Definitely would want a G suit for that.
I mean, I wonder if it's like VTOL or if it's when it's going.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah. It's
Hopefully it's still up to a meter, because that'll be fun.
If it's hovering, can you just run over and push on it, and it just kind of floats to the side?
That would be cool. Or even better, if you do push on it, does it push back?
Well, we'll have to see. We'll have that more fun as it comes out.
So,
Casey's got our next story, and
sure
that
do.
one is about what? The Model S. What's going on
Model
with the
S,
Model S?
yes. So before I jump into that, I want to say Derek Ludwig and Hockey Day simultaneously appeared on my screen at the same time. For the
It's a
first
tie
chat.
today. Okay.
Yes. So we're going to talk about the Model S delivery event that's happening on June 3rd at what is likely the Fremont factory. Yes, definitely the Fremont factory, according to the tweet. And so the plaid is finally released. In what's that,
so
a
all
week?
those ones that they've been storing around the backside of the Fremont factory,
Yeah.
I guess, are going to be delivered.
In a week and a day. So
I
we'll
wonder
see
if it's going to be a large event, like kind of like what happened with the Model 3 when they gave away like 20 of them on stage. I wonder if that kind of thing is going to happen, or if it's going to be something different.
Unless the local regs are such that they need to continue with a limited capacity, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't do it that way.
Yeah.
Other than the short notice, but I mean that's not new to them either. Short notice.
No, and of course, I'm sure a lot of people that are purchasing the car are probably from the region anyways. Like there's probably a lot of people from the San Francisco Bay Area that are purchasing cars. So you probably have no problem drumming up 30 people that are
true.
getting their car that day.
Yep. And the article that we have has a picture of the steering wheel, but I have a feeling that they're all going to be yokes based on everything that we've heard.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is will there be a steering wheel option? Is Elon going to go into some of the more details about the car? Is there going to be, I guess, a whetting of the appetite for other people? Like, is it going to go into stats and figures, or is it going to be just here's your keys, see you later?
Yeah. Good morning, Anders.
So that'll be interesting to see. And if it's any type of a live event, we'll try to see if we can cover it here.
Oh, that'll be fun.
June the 3rd. So
did they say what time?
Keep that.
It's probably after work. Let's see. On the 3rd is going to be Thursday.
They tend to do night things.
Yeah.
Was it a party at 9 p.m. like the Model 3 reveal?
Probably.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So
keep an eye on our Twitters, and we'll let you know what's going on with that.
And if you don't know, you can follow us through the week on Twitter. It's at The Tesla Life. You can also follow us on our Facebook page, which is The Tesla Life #1. And Patrick keeps that up and running for us, and we thank him for that.
Hockey Day says you got to be yoking.
You got to be yoking. Yeah. Dad joke supreme right there.
Absolutely.
There we go. Okay. Next story. Elon, I guess, started a bit of rumor just by what he did after a visit to Gigafactory Berlin. On his way back, his private jet stopped just outside of London and was there for over a day. And coincidentally, what happened was the UK government they've got a wing in the UK government that helps foreign companies avoid the paperwork of setting up a new company within the UK. With the whole Brexit thing happening, they've tried to make it easy for foreign companies to use this office or this department to help them in their search for starting up a location in the UK. And there was a bid, I guess, a silent bid on a piece of land. So they were. It wasn't said who bid on it. Don't know if it was Tesla or not, but it was kind of coincidental that Elon showed up that same day on his private jet. And so again, rumors about maybe a new Giga in the UK or possibly a development center in the UK sprouted from this. So this has happened previously in the past, maybe about a year ago. But this time the rumors kicked off again with this visit of his private jet stopping over a day at this one location in UK.
I don't think so.
I,
So the rumors about the UK and Russia don't really seem plausible to me because in the UK you've got a company that's exiting the free trade environment, so it's going to make it tougher to source your materials and then export your cars. And in Russia, they aren't. I mean, aside from their ability to get in everybody's politics, they don't actually have that much money there. So, I mean, it might be a good idea to sell cars in both places, but not necessarily build them there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see a benefit to the UK really, because as you mentioned, they've just gotten out of the large EU. Tesla's set up in the EU, so really the only cars you'd be selling in the UK would be to UK residents.
Yeah.
And is there that many that are going to buy that many cars from Tesla?
I guess we could look up the figures and see how many.
I think it's
sold.
pretty
Yeah,
popular.
I
I mean, Teslas are pretty popular in
they are,
the
they are
UK.
certainly popular, but are they, half a
Gigafactory
million a year popular?
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
It's almost like
you
setting
know,
something up in Canada.
could they take the excess amount of cars and sell them all within the UK is questionable. But
So
I guess we will keep our eye on it and see if there's any more updates as time goes along. It could also be, maybe just maybe an R&D center or something else. Tesla seems to want to maybe introduce that to a few different areas around. It could be something along that line too.
So in the UK, all electric vehicles sold 31,779 for Q1. So I don't know that they require a Gigafactory to service that, because that's including Tesla, not just
Was
Tesla.
that 3 days of production?
Right. I mean, it would be nice to have more factories, but what I suspect they'll end up doing is just pulling a Shanghai at all the other Gigafactories. Just expand Buffalo, expand Nevada, expand Texas, expand Berlin, and then come back around to China one more time.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see as it goes along. But that is the rumor du jour. Otherwise, Elon was just in town looking for another rave to attend, I guess.
Well, that was the other thing that got me is that he would he be the one signing the contract and doing the bids? I mean, because we saw with Phobos and Demos and all the other like SpaceX properties, it was like a joint employee, one who worked for both companies. Like I don't know if it was acquisitions or legal or whatever, but it wasn't Musk. It was a dedicated.
Well, remember when Tulsa had some interest? Who showed up?
They did bring him in for that, yeah.
Elon showed up,
Yeah.
So I can.
But
see
they asked for him by
going either
name.
way.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
Doesn't Elon kind of make the final decisions?
Probably.
I think
but
he's got his fingers on pretty well everything within the company. Yes.
the question is he signing the contracts?
Well, this wouldn't be a contract signing thing. Maybe even at that point, it would be just
he's there holding up his. He's bidding.
He's
bidding.
looking at it, going, is it going to get my stamp of approval or not?
Yeah, he could be looking at the site. That makes sense.
Yeah. On to our next story, and this story is tunneling under the streets of Las Vegas, of course.
Yes.
The Vegas Loop, which is going to be in full operation under their contract starting in June with the first trade show that's hitting the Las Vegas Convention Center, has become a testing site today, where people that were in the area and wanted to could have signed up via the website and they were trying to do a capacity test on the 3 stations. So they had many volunteers show up. Some prizes were given away as people showed up, and then they were loaded and unloaded from the cars and stations multiple times as they tried to get a count on how many people could be moved per minute, per car, per hour, and wanted to see how smooth the transition would happen with cars loading and unloading and then getting back into the tunnels. So that has been going on this afternoon, and I understand it may even continue sometime into tomorrow. But there's been a number of different media groups that have submitted things through Twitter and such, with people driving around and showing videos of the car going the 30 to 39 miles an hour in the tunnels with a driver. Of course, a driver is in place, as we had understood from the beginning that it would start that way. So the tunnels are in operation, and they are getting ready for their, I guess, June 1st debut with the first convention that's coming in.
Yep, they're not even using regular autopilot, and it looks like the drivers were prepared to face the media. Like they knew what they could answer and how far they could answer, and other parts like, oh, we're looking into that, or I can't say. But I was excited to see the bypass feature. In the video I watched, the guy went from station 1 to station 3, and they drove through station 2, but they didn't stop or slow down. And so I think that well, it won't do anything for the naysayers right now, but once it starts doing that on auto, I think that will help them realize how this is different from a subway in some ways, because you don't have to stop at all the stops just because the people in the middle want to stop there. If you want to go from 1 to 3, you can, and then the people who want to get on, they're the ones who are waiting, not the people who are in transit. So I'm excited, and it'd be great to see this thing running at a faster speed and with some sort of automation, even if the driver is still there, but like basic autopilot, full self-drive, who knows?
Yeah, just gradually step into it.
Yeah.
So
And more stops.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is, as I understand, they are working on the other one, which is going to go to resorts. So that's ongoing progress that's happening as well, just outside of the media view, because of course it's not connected to the main tunnel as of yet.
Yep. Oh, that also answered one of our questions. We were asking if it was going to go up and down at every station. So it just stays down, and it just passed straight through station 2. You can see the people loading and unloading, but it was not even roped off. It was just paint that the people shouldn't be in that throughway. I don't know how fast they'll be able to get going, but obviously they're going to have to do something to keep the pedestrians away from the thoroughfare. But it's exciting.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I guess a bus terminal. If you've ever been to a larger bus terminal where the buses come in on an angle, where the vehicles not only can come in on the angle, stop, and people can get out, get back in, then they don't have to reverse out of the spot. They just turn their wheel and then head back out onto the towards the tunnel entrance. So there's no reversing. There's enough room for that car just to park, disembark people, get new people on, and then turn the wheel and be on its way to the next station.
Yep. And then it looks like obviously queuing with humans will be pretty much like a stop sign or an intersection right now, but queuing for the computer should be like you're waiting in line for a second or 3, and the next thing you know, you're running at full speed. So that'll be fun to see.
Right.
And should allow them the capacity that they promised. So it'll be exciting to see.
And just like the day when they first introduced it, there was Model X, Model Y, and Model 3.
Yes.
And we had a few people comment saying that the slowest vehicle to load up seemed to be the X for some reason.
It's got the slowest doors.
The doors, yeah.
And then nobody knows how to operate them. Yeah, the guy I saw, he manually closed the door, and at the end, the guy's like, "No, I got this," which is something I would tell people when they ride in my cars. No, I got it. I got the doors for you.
Yeah,
and then
PC is the door service.
Yes. and the one that this guy was riding in was a 5-seat, and nobody was wearing their seatbelt, so you could hear the whole video, boop 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 boop.
Seatbelt warning the whole way.
That's just the front passenger, right?
The front passenger and the two in the back. The driver was the only one wearing the seatbelt when I saw the screen.
Yeah, but the dinging comes from the front passenger, not the
Oh,
rear.
no,
No,
there's
it
a ding
comes
for
from the
everybody.
back, too.
Oh, it comes from the back too?
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess I've had mine on baby seat mode for way too long.
That's what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, with that, with speaking of Model 3s and Model Ys, Rob's got a story for us about some price is changing.
Yeah, so it seems like Tesla continues to raise prices on Model 3s and Model Ys in the US. Model 3 SR Plus now up to $39,900. So they're up about $3,000, right? They used to be $36,900 at some point. And Model Y is up another $500 as well. And I don't think, Tesla doesn't see a demand issue, so keep raising prices to increase, profitability. They haven't done anything in Canada because Canadian pricing is already a little bit out of whack with the exchange rate. So just holding the line there.
So is this the 5th or 6th price range?
Man,
Price
it's
increase?
yeah, I was going to say it's.
I think it's 6. It's 6. Because
So,
they're
buy one
$500
today.
at a time.
Tomorrow it's going up again.
There is
Yes.
some speculation that part of the reason, it could be in rising costs. Okay, possibly.
For
It could
sure.
be inflation. It could be a combination, but there's also the speculation that a lot of groups believe that the U.S. is going to reintroduce a EV credit for $10,000 or $7,500, somewhere in that range. And some of the speculation is that Tesla will be able to partake basically in that rebate.
And then additionally, they sold out for the quarter of Model 3s and Model Ys. So if that price increase doesn't slow you down, why not take a little bit extra off the table? And then also tell you you're not getting your car till September or whatever. June?
Yeah.
September. September.
I mean, I work in the metal fabrication industry, and material prices are out of control.
Me
So
too.
I think a lot of it has to do with that. But I think they're also not raising prices here in Canada because it's already out of whack with the exchange rate. The exchange rate the dollars have become much closer in the last 6 months, and Tesla hasn't made any price changes here. They haven't lowered prices or anything. So even with the $3,000 increase in the U.S., it's still cheaper to buy Tesla in the U.S. than it is to buy one here.
Yeah, because they've always said that they want it to be the same worldwide, minus the local fees. Good thing they had a cap on it, minus the local fees, and so I'm wondering if that change in the exchange rate plus you guys' taxes, I wonder if that makes it so they don't need to do another adjustment so soon. Because
Possibly.
effectively your price was already higher to begin with, so they didn't need to raise it.
Aren't really local fees, I don't believe, on automotive.
No, I
cars
think
here.
we're a free trade on that.
Yeah, and taxes come in after the fact. So, I mean, if you look at a lot of the other manufacturers, vehicles are actually cheaper here, factoring in the exchange.
Oh, really?
Even the upcoming vehicles like the Hummer EV is going to be cheaper in Canada than in the U.S.
I'm used to you guys having the penalty just for having the loony over there.
Well, I mean, with the current exchange rate, for
I
example.
got you.
For example, the Hummer EV is coming out here for $113,000, and in the U.S., well, that's
115.
Canadian.
Yeah, but it's 115 US.
Oh, so
Yeah,
very
it's a
similar.
good example.
Yeah. It really depends on the vehicle, but in a lot of cases, cars are cheaper here. In a lot of cases, not all cases, but
So, Rob, you're saying in your industry that you're seeing crazy price increases on raw materials?
Steel is insane. Steel is triple what it was,
Wow.
almost triple in the last year.
Steel and wood.
And wood.
Steel and lumber, but there's no lumber in the Tesla cars unless you count the air conditioning mount, right, in the Model Y.
I don't think that's wood anymore. I wonder if they have any as a seat board underneath all the layers of the chair.
I doubt it. It was just a joke.
What about that?
They did at one point.
That wood finish across the front of the.
Ah,
Model 3.
yes.
There you
That's
go.
right. The wood laminate. Yes.
Yeah.
It's so thick.
Are you sure you don't want a white one? Because that wood's gonna set you back.
That wood is now triple. Absolutely. Stay clear of that.
Oh.
So I mean, I would have no doubt that there's at least $1,000 in there for increased material costs. Maybe 1,500, but probably not all of it, but some of it definitely.
Yeah, well, just the last three, they have been $500 bumps each time. So the last three is $1,500 right there. So
I mean, the other possibility is the chip shortage, and they're just having to pay more for electronics and things as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that, on to our next story. And since we already talked about the 3 and the Y, Casey's got a story about an S.
Let's talk about the Model S.
Yeah.
I was going to go further with that, but I don't want to get us this copyright strike for lyrics. So in Gate Mills, Ohio, the police department has sprung for a Model S as their car. How about that?
Wow. So there's I can only recall one other S in a police department, and that was in Fremont when they bought a used Model S.
And this is the same situation. That was a donation or a seizure. This one is definitely a donation from one of the local residents there, and the donor is paying the cost of converting the vehicle to police regulations as well. So they don't even have that cost on it.
Wow!
Cool.
So it's basically a free Model S patrol car.
Yep. So either this person is getting some free speeding tickets, or they really care about clean air.
This person has got a lifetime invitation to the policeman's ball, obviously.
Yes.
Wow. So Model S donated to the Gate Mills, Ohio Police Department. Very cool.
Yeah, but this is a great car to be a patrol car. It's big enough for them. It can fit their gun belts, and all the idling they do, and it can keep the HVAC running the whole time as well. And if they have any sort of solar on the police department or wherever this car is charged at, then it can actually be literally zero emissions after construction. So it's a good move.
Very good.
I could offer a counterpoint.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, it's a bad look on the police department to have Model S, even if it was donated, because the general public is
not going to be aware of that fact, are they?
Right, exactly. They wouldn't be aware. And they are going to rail on the police for wasting taxpayers' money on basically ultra luxury car, because general public looks at Tesla like, wow, you must be rich.
Priced.
Well, they look at it like an exotic car. Put it that way, even with the Model 3, it's like nobody can afford that, right? That's 90%.
Nobody can afford a Camry.
right. But the public is misinformed.
They are. So. But the beauty of it is, as we saw with several of the police departments when they put their books out, is that you can see that they're saving taxpayer money. All you got to do is get past the loud ones and get the folks who are actually paying to see that they're actually fostering as good stewards of the money, because they're putting less out in tires. They might not put out less in tires, but so far
most people,
less in tires, less in maintenance.
Most people don't look into it like that. They just the automatic assumption. Right?
They just blurt out that they hate the police.
Yeah.
So, as an example, where Mark and I live, the city bought a lot of electric cars for city purposes. Do you know how many Teslas they bought? 0. And why is that? Because it would look bad. Optics, perfect optics. They could have bought Model 3 SR Plus. Nope. Hyundai Kona.
Well, at least it was EV, but I mean...
Yep. They bought a pile of them.
If you're going to complain loudly, you need to look at the books before you start complaining.
Well, they have to choose vehicles based on optics. It's pretty funny because people complain. If they look at the Hyundai Kona, they don't know how expensive it is. They go, oh, it's a Hyundai, right? It's a Hyundai. It must be cheap, right? They have no idea that it's a $45,000 car.
Yeah.
But here they would complain, oh, that's not an American car.
So they don't complain about really that squeezed. As much.
Well, yeah, but here you're really squeezed for it because you get to pick. Basically, it's Ford, GM, and Tesla, and then like you said, when you buy the Tesla, the screamers start.
Well, when we were looking at all these police departments switching in the U.S. to Model 3s, they're all coming from Dodge Chargers. Like
Mm-hmm.
that just seems to be the patrol car of choice now in the police department since the Crown Vic dropped out from Ford. But,
Yeah, it's less gas than the Explorer, which is
yeah,
their other one. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. The Explorer is another one, and that's even used here as well. So that's a popular one as well.
Yeah. I wonder how many we'll see convert to the Lightning instead of the Explorer.
How many Cybertrucks are going to be police cars?
A ton.
Oh, SWAT teams everywhere. Zombie
Yes.
apocalypse.
I can't wait for that.
Hopefully they wrap them all. That way you don't get
Yeah,
pot shots.
I hope they wrap them too. Oh, and by the way, if you've got a Cybertruck ordered, just remember that thing is going to be hot as a skillet in the summer sun. So you may want to think about a wrap, especially if you've got kids around your driveway, because that stainless steel thing is going to be like a skillet. So
That's
Make
what I'm
sure
hoping
to
to
have
have
some. Make sure to have some eggs with you just in case you get hungry.
You know, you'll be able to fry eggs on that thing all day long in the summer, but you don't want your kids touching it or leaning up against it.
Yeah.
It's a hot car. I've heard that from DeLorean owners that they had that problem, that it gets hot.
So when I was a kid, the playground used to be made of metal, and
yeah. Remember that? Remember going down that
The
slide
slide.
in mid-July? Look out. So keep that in mind, Cybertruck owners or reservation holders.
That's why I'm hoping that when he said no door handles, that he meant Model X style and not Mustang Mach-E style.
Yeah.
Because if you don't got to touch it, then it doesn't matter as much.
Don't want to touch it. Trust me, it's going to be a hot vehicle in a number of ways.
Oh man.
Next story, we move on to a hot space. This is Modesto, California. Apparently, the Frito-Lay, distribution center there is scheduled to receive the first Tesla MegaChargers for their fleet of semis that they have ordered. They're supposed to be receiving in their first run about 15 trucks. I think they've got a few dozen on order. But the first 15 are, I guess, imminent. And someone in Modesto caught a building permit order for the build out of the MegaChargers that are going to be placed there. And surprisingly enough, this Modesto Frito-Lay location already even has some other chargers in its parking lot. So these are going to be added. The MegaChargers are going to be added to the same section. They have not been built yet. It was just a permit at the point where someone found it. But they're clearly going to be visible from the road because it's really close to a public road and it's not blocked by a fence or anything. So I'm sure we'll start to get reports of people that are driving by the area looking for construction updates as they start to do things in that particular parking lot.
At least the drone army.
This will be the first in hopefully a bunch that gets added to the charging infrastructure for these private trucking companies that have ordered the Tesla Semi. And I'm excited to start seeing some of this progress happen and start to see some of these trucks on the road.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, there's already a supercharger there, and V3s at that. So at this point, as my running theory is that the V3 cabinets are MegaChargers, and so what I'm hoping we'll see is they just dump a couple of them down with a new connector for the semi truck, and they're ready to go in appropriate parking. And in fact, I had a theory that perhaps if they do give us faster supercharging, that the Cybertruck will those wider stalls. Maybe they do two to a charger like we used to have, but without the split. And so you'd have 500 per truck. So towing would be the same speed as not towing with your truck.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
But we'll have to see as this starts to roll along. Obviously, they're concentrating on people that have already bought the truck and, of course, have dedicated runs for those trucks. So having it at their distribution center is going to be a big plus where they can charge them overnight and be ready for their runs in the morning or afternoon, and maybe even stop in for a quick top up at lunch. So certainly as these trucking companies start to use the trucks, they have the advantage that others don't, that they know their runs. They know exactly how long they are. They know exactly what type of vehicles, what type of weight they're pulling. All that stuff's already been calculated. The fleet managers are on top of this. So purchasing these vehicles is just basically a math equation as to where to put those chargers so that the trucks can get their daily runs done.
The beauty of Frito-Lay is they're hauling chips.
Yeah, that's pretty light cargo.
Product may settle well under shipping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boom.
Half a bag.
Yes. So the other thing, as you mentioned, is while they're on lunch break, literally, since they're commercial operators, they need to take their DOT mandated breaks, and so this is the perfect opportunity to handle that. So.
Yep, as long as they're in an area where they can plug in, charging for half an hour is all they're going to need to almost top up to 80%.
Yep.
So, with that, on to our next story, and Rob's got one that he's experienced personally, as I have.
Yeah, as you have as well.
As I have, yes.
So this has to do with the Model 3 getting Tesla being proactive about the upper control arms. Everyone who's had an early Model 3 knows about the squeaking issues that come eventually. They're going to come for you. And Tesla's been proactively injecting urethane into the bushings to seal them. Apparently, the new control arms are sealed from the factory, but the original ones were not. So apparently some owners are getting notified in their Tesla app that they should come in for service and have the urethane injected. Now, I have not personally been notified, but hoping for it, anything to make it last longer.
So is this actually injected into the control arm, or is this like a seal around it? Do we know?
Just says something about they add urethane, and I read about this story on my own at some point, and I'm crossing my fingers that they're going to reimburse owners who have had to replace control arms because of this known defect, and cross my fingers, but I'm not expecting too much,
Yeah, there's certainly in the first runs of the Model 3 for quite some time, they've had this issue. On my trip to California, I discovered it as I started to come back. The car started to squeak on one of the control arms. And Tesla, of course, replaced it under warranty, since I was under warranty at that point. But I asked, well, what about the other one? And they said, well, it's not making a noise.
You, buddy.
And I said, but it's going to, is it not? Obviously, there's a defect. But,
that was me with the Model S handles.
they want it to squeak before they're going to do anything. So
it's going to break before we fix it. But I'm like, aren't they all the same design? Yeah, but no, it's got to break first. I'm like,
yeah,
intentionally break it.
And then I had 5 other breakage, so I was good. But oh man!
And of course, it unlike some of the older cars out there that would have like a point where you can inject grease into that control arm. These are all sealed units, so you can't do any maintenance to them to prevent it.
Apparently, the original ones were not sealed, and that's why they're injecting urethane.
Ah, okay.
So now they're sealed. They've revised the part design, but the original ones were not.
Yeah, Derek was asking what year model, and it doesn't say. So hopefully
2018.
2018?
Yeah.
And 2019?
I'm not sure about 2019, but definitely all of the 2018s.
This guy here from Drive Tesla Canada got his done on his 19. Now, what would be nice is if they would do some proactive suspension work on the Model X. But that's wishful thinking.
Oh, for the shutter?
Yes. Is that a common problem across the X's?
Not if you ask Tesla. But yes.
But yes.
Mine's been in for it, and it started to redevelop it.
I guess if you have an older Model 3 and you're concerned, go into the app and indicate that you'd like this addressed, and send it in as a service request. And if they believe your car is not within that particular warranty group, they'll let you know.
Oh, they will. We'll save
They
you money.
will.
So yeah, Derek,
will
just put
let
in
you
a,
know.
a mobile service appointment and see if they reject it, and you'll be good to go. So let me see if it says what bulletin. It doesn't say the bulletin number, but the repair correction is it says concern reseal front upper control arm ball joints, and then the correction was reseal around both front upper control arm ball joints with urethane Model 3.
That's probably got to be the most common issue with the Model 3, the upper control arms. It's just almost
and
everyone.
The air filters.
Oh, and the smelly air filters?
Yes.
I don't even think that's as common as this.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
No, I mean, okay, I had this.
It seems that almost every early Model 3 has had a control arm issue. Like
Right.
everyone I've talked to
Yeah.
that had the car that I bought, they've all had that issue happen to them.
It's so weird too. I mean, I had one go out, and the other one still original, no problems. Just the one went out. So that was at
So
about
was it
120,000.
Was it your driver's side
Yes.
that went out?
Yes.
Mine too. So
Wow.
my other one has been no problem so far.
No, passenger side is perfectly fine. Yeah, it's just the driver's side.
Yeah. So it's
What?
almost like they're two separate ones, or half the batch wasn't filled. The others were fine. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's
Get
the
Larry
case.
off the line.
Yeah. Larry, yeah.
Yeah, mine went out at 120,000 on the driver's side, and the passenger side we're at 100. We're at 201, and it's still fine.
So did they cover it or did they charge you?
No, they charged me. Of course, they charged me.
Maybe get your money back now.
$210 plus labor, and the labor is the killer. It's not the part.
$195 an hour.
175 Canadian.
Oh wow.
So, which is crazy because when first got the car in 2018, labor rate was 125 an hour Canadian. So under $100 US an hour. And then just overnight, one night, it went from 125 to 175. They didn't tell anyone. It was just like real quiet.
I think ours used to be like 95, and then it went to 130 at the shop I was working at the time.
There you go.
Now it's 195.
Yeah, I don't think the market here would bear the 195, but 95 to 130 sounds like our pricing.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, I've got a photo to share with you guys. So
All right, I like
this
photos.
out here. Let's share this photo. Whoops.
There it is.
Screen.
Oh, wrong screen.
Where is it? It is here.
Oh, look at that.
And here.
Whoa.
Now it's great.
That looks perfect.
There it
we
is.
go.
Oh. The heck are we looking at?
This is at the Gigafactory Texas, and what you're looking at is the front end casting of Model Ys.
But I thought that Giga Texas wasn't online yet.
It's not. But yet, the Gigapress is up and running, obviously, because they're pumping out the front assemblies of Model Ys like crazy. Now, this, of course, could certainly still be just testing,
It could be.
or they could be storing them for future use. Really don't know, because, of course, the factory's not online yet.
Sure.
But these parts are now being produced and being shipped to a corner of the open landscape there in Texas.
So that's
that
3
they
cars
have, and
per
they've got
stack.
a lot of room, so they could pack up a lot of these things.
3 cars
but-
per stack.
3 cars per stack.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
So could be some testing. Oh, it looks like one fell into the weeds here at the front.
I don't want that
one-
car.
That's a bad one there. You don't want that one. But the rest look okay. But yeah. So again, does the factory necessarily need to be open for it to be productive? Apparently
Well,
not.
As long as they've got
Apparently
electricity,
not.
I guess.
Yeah. So it is starting, and
I don't put
Well,
anything
this
past
is-
Tesla these days,
Yeah.
They
But we-
sandbag numbers. They're just sandbagging on everything.
Almost
Oh, well,
everything.
it's going to take until this time. It's going to take until, we're not doing that yet. It's going to be a ways off. We're not going to make that much money. Here's our profit margin. Here's our sales for the quarter. They just sandbag everything.
Everything but autopilot dates.
Yes. Everything. The autopilot dates
there are exceptions. Yes.
Yeah, that's the exception.
I wonder, because we saw with Fremont that the Gigapress doesn't really have a closed building. I wonder if that has aided with this. But of course,
Well,
they're also building cars in
this
tents.
certainly Giga Texas certainly has a closed building. It's
Yeah.
just that they've kept an entire wall open because
Right.
you can see that allows the drones to come in and photograph during the
Right,
day
right,
and night.
exactly.
So
Is that on
they,
purpose? Is
probably something in the contract with the
that
drone
advertising
operators.
for them?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wonder if it's a way to scare the competition, because if the drone army is allowed to come by and take these shots, and then everybody else is shaking in their boots, and then everybody's jumping to get rid of the fossil cars because they can't keep up.
Maybe.
I was
And
thinking
that kind of. Go
what
ahead,
might
Rob.
be a really funny one is if Tesla was doing something to, that they weren't actually doing, but they were making it look like they were doing it, so that when drones shot footage, then the competitors would go, "Oh my God, we got to do that," and it's like a dead end street for them.
Psyops. Well, that'd be cool.
Who knows? Who knows what kind of games they're playing? Because you're right, they do sandbag some numbers certainly. So they may be playing fast and loose to scare the competition. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
And they've got video of these things operating with that wall missing, like Mark said. So this is for real. But the question is, the practice, or is it real?
Like the Hot Wheel behind me, right?
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. With that, on to our next story, and this one is about, miraculously, the Model 3s and Model Ys are starting to roll out again. And what's that about, Rob?
Right. So, I don't know if anyone has been around their Tesla service center or delivery center lately, but there were no cars like a month ago, and now they're just parked full of cars, and everyone knows Tesla's sold out for the quarter, and these are all customers' cars. They've just been sitting there, and they're finally just gonna get ready to deliver them now, because something about they've been delaying for the visual autopilot, and as far as we understand, they've gotten rid of the radar sensors, so they're just waiting on software. And now they've updated their website, and it says that all cars will be may not have all the features until software is available for them.
Yep.
So they've just been delaying the deliveries until the software is ready. Seems to me.
So I was wondering if the software was late, or if they did this because they couldn't get enough radars, because it seems that something didn't line up in their plans in order to cause this much of a stoppage. I mean, because you already had Model S and Model X down for the count, and then they started stockpiling Model 3s and Model Ys. It's like something is weird here.
Yeah, that's the weird thing is about 4 weeks ago, I went by our local Tesla dealership, and they had showroom, and they had they had the lot absolutely filled with Model 3s and Ys. Every parking spot was filled, and I was going, are they moving that many cars? I know they sold out. Are these all customer cars? Are they getting tractor trailer deliveries every day? Because the parking lot wasn't.
It was empty. Out. It was completely empty.
It started that way, yeah.
If you were there like 2 weeks before that, there were no cars there. Zero.
Right. So it filled up overnight, basically, and then it remained filled for the next 2 weeks as I was watching. Every once in a while I go by, and I have a buddy that ordered a Model Y, and he still didn't have his VIN number up until yesterday. And all of a sudden, when this came out about the software, and that it was, they were switching to Tesla Vision, then these owners started to get called up and say, hey, you can come get your car now. You just got to sign a waiver to indicate that that some of the features aren't going to be available immediately, and they will be loaded up later via software. And everyone started to get the call, and the app started to ring and buzz and let people know that they could sign up for delivery days. So there was this space of about, I would say, 2.5 weeks at least. Those cars were just sitting there and nothing was going on. But they were customer cars for that location, for people in that area, because the Tesla had shipped those vehicles out so that something could be added to them before the customer got them. But it seems that they've decided that, based on the end of the quarter coming about a month away now, they decided that, okay, we got to do something else. We got to put a disclaimer on them, let people know that the the software is going to update over a period of time, and they can start getting their cars now. So we got to get them out before the end of the quarter.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if this is also what was holding up the SNX, though, because they also got their launch date pretty much the same time that they announced that Tesla Vision was a thing, and seems kind of a convenient correlation there. And at the same time, I'm hoping that that folks that are getting both of these cars, somebody that's getting a refresh Model S and somebody that's getting a Model 3 or Model Y with no radar, if they would take off their see if there's a connection for the radar, see if it exists.
Yeah,
like it was planned or not.
If
What a
you
harness.
knew where it was.
Yeah.
And certainly they had said on the Tesla website, because they've taken radar off of it, said it's just Tesla Vision now. So
Yeah.
there's no radar indicator at all as the beginning of apparently May. So we'll have to see. I'm going to certainly I'll be interested to hear. My buddy's picking up his car on Friday, and this Friday, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, the next day. But I'll be interested to hear what he gets told when he's picking up the car, if he can get any more details as to what's there, what's not there,
No
what will be
summon.
coming out shortly. So
No summon yet. And so the build date for those is May of 2021. So if you get a May 2021, we're curious if you have radar harnesses or not.
would you have to go? Would you know where that is? Where those harnesses would be?
No, it's behind the
No.
bumper. But I
It's
wonder if
behind
you
the
can reach it.
bumper.
I wonder if you can reach it without just by taking the front tub out without having to take your bumper off.
So we're not saying go out and detach
No,
your
if
bumper
you're
or anybody. So
if you have the skills to do this and you know where to look, go ahead. It's not like if you can get to it from the front tub, it's a lot easier. But if you got to take the bumper off, there's a huge chance you could scratch or chip your paint. So if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it just for our curiosity.
exactly. Just like those people that were looking for the heated steering wheel. Do not take your steering wheel apart.
Unless you know what you're
can't.
doing.
Do not do it.
Yes.
Well, Tess, the last story of the evening, the honor goes to Mr. Green. What's going
Yes.
on there?
So we've seen that you don't need walls to have a Gigapress running, but maybe you need electricity. So we were wondering if Patrick's minions have been trying to sabotage Mark's bet here. And over in Germany, there's been a little bit of sabotage. And I would say alleged sabotage, but no, they admitted to it. And
Of course.
yes, so they cut the lines going to Gigafactory Berlin. And before the show, Mark and I were saying that, that was extremely bold, because if you don't know what you're doing for the kind of power that this plant is going to need, they very easily could have killed themselves. And it's surprising that they were able to pull this off without injuring themselves.
So this group who's against Tesla setting up and running, I hope they're not the same group that's the environmental group, because of course with them cutting the cables, they started a forest fire.
Yeah. Yeah. But maybe it's another one of those, one of those groups that's very, very hypocritical. They just want what they want, and they just say whatever needs to be said to get it to happen. Oh no, the cardboard forest, and then really they burn the cardboard forest themselves.
Exactly. So these cables, I've seen pictures of it previously, is that they laid them on the ground in a fenced area that ran beside an access road. These were temporary to get power to the plant. But I guess one of these groups went in and snipped the cables, and they were flailing them around, and apparently caught some wood on fire, and part of the forest started on fire. It was about 3:30 in the morning. The Brandenburg Fire Department was called. They got out there, they got the fire out, and there wasn't any delay to construction because they got it all squared away before the day started. So
This is awesome. And then don't forget, this plant is going to be solar powered, so that probably would have just lowered their input had this thing been running. One of the commenters on the article said, did they file proper paperwork and get an environmental study approved before setting fire to the power cables in the forest?
Were they wearing safety vests when they went out there and clipped those cables?
Proper
That's what-
PPE. Very important.
Yes. That's what we want to know. Were they keeping social distance while they were the planning stages in the guy's basement? But oh man, crazy stuff. But as Tesla gets larger and larger and builds in more and more different areas, you're going to get the nuts coming out. It's just a fact of life. The more people you expose to this, you're going to get some radicals rolled into it. So
yeah, I agree.
at
Derek,
least
Derek
nobody
says,
was hurt. And
Derek says he hopes it wasn't one of the groups that builds fossil cars. I agree. Hopefully not, because
sponsoring them. Yeah,
that's bad.
that would be really bad.
Well, there's quite a few.
Yes.
In Germany.
You guys saw the news story off track, but the what is it, Royal
Dutch
Shell was sued
yes.
by a group, and the court was it Denmark indicated that they were going to have to cut emissions by 45% instead of 20%, which they were already going to do. But
now they have to do it faster.
This is a group that is going after them in the courts and making a change there. So this is the first of its kind.
And then ExxonMobil got activist investors, get 2 people on the board to make them go faster.
Yeah,
at least 2.
At least 2.
They said the other votes are very close for number 3 and 4.
Excellent.
So
moving in the right direction.
Even if you're an oil company, if you don't believe in climate change,
your days are numbered.
Well, they call themselves energy companies. Get with the program.
Yeah.
Not Exxon.
No, the Exxon doesn't call themselves an energy company.
Exxon is one of the few that hasn't diversified at all.
I mean, how many power companies did Shell buy? Like at least 3 in Europe and the U.S., right? Yeah.
I don't know. I do not know. Well, with that, that wraps up the show, and let's go to shout-outs. We'll start with Casey. What have you got happening this week, Casey?
Well, got a couple of videos coming out for you, and we just did one on, I did the test box, and then we did a Sunday stream on the Ford Lightning. So if you don't know, on Sundays I run a 2-hour live stream on not just Tesla, but also anything green living and environmentalism. And so if you're interested in that, youtube.com/Casey Green. Catch more of us.
Very good. And Rob, our special guest today, thank you again for filling in and helping us out today. Do you have a plug or anything you'd like to promote at the end of the show here?
I'm just a Tesla owner loving life. Can't wait for my Cybertruck.
Having a good time.
Can't wait for my Cybertruck. Can't wait to drive my Model 3 every day. Look me up on this side. High Mileage Rob on Twitter, at High Mileage Rob. And just driving around.
Living the dream. Living the dream.
Dave B was asking about the Starlink FCC challenge. I think that is a case of somebody who can't compete trying to tie up the legal system to get what they want.
Yeah, they're saying there's no way we can compete with this. Please stop them.
Got a little story there. I know a friend who's a Bell tech, and he was installing service up north in a remote area, and you could see the Wi-Fi, and it said Virgin, and he said he was putting in 5 meg service, but the neighbors must have had Starlink because you can also see that network. And I said, hey, just tell them that the neighbors is way better. And he goes, I get fired, even though it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly making big differences for people that aren't connected to I guess a high population network. That it's made a big difference for the northern people that do not have those type of connections.
Are you saying 5 megs is no good?
Yeah, exactly. So,
it's getting better too, based on everything I'm hearing from owners.
Wait to these RVers and stuff can just roam with them. Yes. That's going to be there'll be no choice for them but to take it. Run with it at home, and then when you're going RVing, you just pack up the router and the dish, and you've got internet anywhere you stop.
Yeah.
So, and in some cases, They're even testing it on U.S. Air Force planes as they're flying. So who knows? You may be able to stream as you're driving too. Who knows where that's going?
Absolutely.
Well, with that, we want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up at this point. Press the subscribe button if you haven't already. That helps us out and supports the show. And we want to thank Lee Moon for the music we use every week. And tune in next week and join us and find out what's going on in the Tesla life.
Thank you, Lee Moon.
Good night, everyone. Have a great week.